Dean Martin once said, "Everybody loves somebody sometime." And while I'm inclined to agree with that point, is this taking it a bit too far? Don't you think it's just
It's Eddie!
little bit excessive at this point?
Goofball.
No? How about this one? Still not convinced? How about this one? Eddie Munson of Stranger Things is the latest in a long line of fictional characters that girls on the internet have hyperfixated on. Now, normally that's no problem, e.g. the Onceler, Sans from Undertale. However, with the Eddie Munson fans, there's been a bit of what I'd like to call a containment breach. See, the fandom used to exist in its own little bubble of, the internet, but it's begun leaking into my circles. So now it's personal, and I'm sure you feel the same way. You see, while this is just another internet sexy man, something feels different this time. The advent of TikTok, the advent of cringe culture, it's set up a bit of a perfect storm. There are accounts on Instagram, TikTok, even YouTube, which actively seek out what they deem to be cringe and repost it. Now, as you can probably understand, that has the unintended consequence of making cringy things extremely popular very fast. This didn't really exist in the old days of the Onceler, but it's out in full force now. It's unavoidable, which is how I, on my own Instagram feed, someone who doesn't give the least iota of a care about Eddie Munson, ended up seeing this, and this, all in the span of 1 hour. I plugged in my mic, I turned on my camera, and now we're here, so I can show you all what I've been dealing with. At the heart of any fandom is the fan cam. You've probably seen this before for anyone, ranging from baseball players to Disney characters to, of course, Eddie Munson. Now, these fan cams used to take meticulous crafting, editing skills, a functional laptop, but nowadays it doesn't take any of that. There are apps whose entire purpose is to plug in footage and give you a fan cam, which means anyone can do it, which means kids are doing it, which makes me deeply uncomfortable. Most of these Eddie Munson fan cams appear to be made by, actual 8-year-olds, people who were born after 2014. From a meme standpoint, of course, I want to know your opinion on this. Is it ethical for these cringe pages to re-upload these Eddie Munson TikToks for people to make fun of, considering the people making them are very young and will probably deeply regret it in just a couple of years? Let's do a quick thought exercise for a second, okay? Remember back to when you were 8 years old. What did you like? What were you like? Now imagine if I went back in time and gave 8-year-old you editing software, a bunch of clips of whatever you wanted, and a platform to spread your work as far as you can. You probably would have made some pretty regrettable things, as I definitely would have had. When I was 8, I used to make Lego Star Wars stop-motion animations, and I used to add my own voiceover to them. If anybody had found those, my life would have been ruined. No matter what you think of these Eddie Munson fan posts, you can't deny that it must be jarring for these kids to, wake up, go to elementary school, and then some kid goes up to them and said, "Hey, I found your post on Cringe Post Randy, and now we're all gonna make fun of you because you're an Eddie Munson fan." No kid should have to go through that. Elementary school is hard enough as it is without, having to deal with this. So when I turned on this camera, turned on the lights behind me, closed that window over there, I was expecting to make fun of and really dissect these creations, but I kind of feel bad now for these kids that, might grow up with things like this hanging over their head. No. They go to a party. "Oh, I remember you. You were the person back in 2nd grade who we all made fun of for that Eddie Munson fanfic where he gives birth. I remember you. You're funny, you know that?" Forgive, and forget and move on, because everybody loves somebody sometimes. And sometimes you just gotta make a fanfic with animojis of you and that person giving birth. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Joey Barr, and you can go now. You're dismissed.